She needs is as much as you can feel on the weather side of a moistened finger.
There's not enough up there to flutter a candle, Captain. You know it better than me.
I give half our cargo to feel the sun glinting white on her sails again. Remember that slant around the horn, eh, man?
Aye.
Before we hit these doldrums.
Hey, well, that was a piece of sailing, sir.
Just 10 days from 50 south of the Atlantic to 50 south of the Pacific.
And it's still a long pull to Melbourne, sir. And we'll not be making way tonight.
No.
You've stood what for 4 days. Why don't you turn in, Captain? One man at the helm is more than plenty with neither island nor ship within 1,000 miles. All right, man.
Ahoy! Schooner! Ahoy!
Hello? What ship are you? I said, what ship are you?
No ship. Only a man.
Out here?
I heard voices. I rode out.
Rowed out? Rowed out, you say? Where the nearest landfall is Punta Arenas, 1,000 miles astern.
I know.
You put in alongside?
I can't.
Well, do you need any help, matey? Are you in some sort of fix out there?
Yes. Yes. We need help.
We? Hello there, come back!
What is it, man?
Someone to port, sir.
Man overboard?
None of our crew, sir. Whoever it is says he rowed out.
Rowed out?
Hey, it must have been a shipwreck.
Put away the light.
Maybe some kind of a trick.
His voice has a strange sound, but there's no menace to it.
And all the same, Captain, I don't think we should...
Put it down under the brooks. Come closer.
Promise you will not show the light.
Are you alone?
Yes.
Hey, you see? At a moment past, he said, we need help. Him and somebody else.
How do we know you're alone if we can't get a look at you? What's your objection to the light?
I'm sorry. I would not have troubled you, only I'm hungry, and so is she.
Hold on, come back. We'll see the lights hidden. Stow the lamp behind the hatch. You can come alongside now. The light's stowed away.
I can't.
Why can't you?
I dare not.
All right, you said that you were hungry.
Yes, yes.
Well, now, how can we feed you if we can't see you?
We need provisions, whatever you can spare. You could float them out to me.
Fetch as much as you can carry from the galley. Get hold of a wooden crate.
Aye, sir.
I heard what you told him. May God, who understands everything, reward you.
You mentioned a lady. Is she with you?
I've left her on the island.
There is no island in these waters.
There is our island.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Can we send a boat in for her?
No. It is only because of our need I ventured out to you. Her agony was more than I could endure.
I was wrong, Pat. He's not delirious. Something I don't know what. Something holding him out there. Some kind of dread.
Coming over now. Stand by out there.
You are more than generous. There's so much here. So much. But I cannot pay you. We have nothing.
You're welcome to it.
You must have been badly in need of it. You take right off like that without saying another word. We still don't know who he is, or... Maybe there's some reefs around here that nobody's ever charted.
I think it's much worse than reefs, Matt. There's something horrible in that fog. I can feel it. I can almost reach out and touch it.
Well, it's the weirdest thing I stumbled across since I took to sea. Oh, I'll be glad to leave these waters well astern of us, Skipper.
That makes two of us, Matt.
Schooner, ahoy!
Over here!
I left you suddenly, but the need was great.
The lady?
The lady is grateful now on earth. She will be more grateful soon in heaven. We had thought to die without telling anyone of the terror which has come into our lives. But now she is with me in believing that it is God's wish we should tell you all that has happened.
Who are you?
My name is James Thomason. I was the youngest sailing master in Langley's clipper fleet. My ship was the Sparta. Oh, but she was sleek and beautiful. 100 lovely ships with 100 lovely names. The Murmurous, the Simba, the Rodney, she raced and beat them all. Once I held her under full sail in a westerly gale would have blown the hair out of your head. There were no waters between the Bering and Coral seas. She had not run, yet no sea was too much for her. I had a crew, hard men to shave, I'll admit, but they loved her as I did. The world was mine. And Eleanor. Eleanor was beautiful, with the beauty of a summer northerly. The third year after I'd had command of the Sparta, Eleanor and I were married. We came back from our honeymoon, back to her father's home in Cumberland. It was a Sunday, I remember. Her mother and father were at church.
Eleanor, I leave for Portsmouth tomorrow. I sail with the tide.
I know.
You know?
Well, I know Mr. Langley, who owns the Sparta. He's a good friend of Father's.
You mean all the time we were on our honeymoon, you knew I would have to leave so soon and you said nothing?
Well, I wanted to see how you were going to broach the subject.
It might be worse. This is just round the Horn to Australia.
The better part of a year. How could it be worse?
Japan, China, nearly 2 years.
Well, in any event, there's really nothing to discuss because I'm going with you.
Eleanor.
Well, I shan't be the first captain's wife to set sail with her husband.
It's out of the question. It's much too dangerous and no fit life for any woman, least of all for you.
Oh, my darling, how little you know about women. Truly you do. You imagine us to be fragile creatures who pour tea or clip flowers or occasionally get taken with the vapors.
But, Eleanor, you don't know a marlin spike from a darning needle. Aboard ship, you'd be lost and bewildered and unhappy.
And with the man I love. I married you to share your life. Your time and my time are now one. I want to be able to reach out in the night and know my husband is there and hear the sound of his breathing, not to be asking myself on what distant seas is he sailing.
But you don't know the dangers.
Shipwreck? How I should love to be cast away on a tropical island alone with you and nothing to do but...
Eleanor, you're not being realistic. Life aboard ship is cramped and trying.
Oh, I should probably miss my comforts terribly. But I should miss you so much more. And so, you see, I really have no choice. And neither do you. And so now I must pack. Oh, and wait till you see the chest my father made for me. It's quite the most beautiful thing any girl ever took to sea.
Eleanor took to sailing from the moment she set foot on deck. We caught a good wind which carried us down to the line in 3 weeks. I found a strong southeast trade until we neared Cape Horn. There, the weather lowered all at once. It was a question which would be worse, rounding the Horn or running the Straits of Magellan. All at once we were struck by a thundering sea and winds which seemed to rush out of nowhere. Every hand turned to take in our canvas, but we had been given no warning. A flick of the gale took the sails back so that our starter stays helped to pull down our mast, not to support them. In an instant, the fore topmast and the main top gallant had come crashing down on deck, and the masts and yards and thrashing sails were banging and clattering and smashing into our sides.
Can you hear me? We're leagues off any ship's course. I'm afraid it's hopeless. So, I must say this before it's too late. I cannot forgive myself for bringing you to sea.
Ahoy! Hello out there! Can you hear me? All right.
Don't be asleep. The watch. Ellen, can you hang on?
Yes, I've got it.
Climb up.
It's so quiet up there. Are you sure anybody's aboard?
Hello?
Filthy. It's covered with some kind of slime. Here.
Is there anybody aboard?
She must be a derelict.
Ahoy there! Ahoy there! Ahoy!
What could have happened to the crew?
Hard to say until the fog lifts. It could have been washed overboard. She's aground. She must have beached when they went ashore.
Then when you left.
I'm sure of it. In the fog, not there. We probably drifted into a lagoon. And this hull's rotting away on the beach.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh, my darling. We haven't lost each other after all.
Nor shall we ever. Let's look round. That should be the master's cabin. We can't decide anything till the fog lifts. Chances are the fresh water pump's still working. There may be some food in the galley.
The floor seems to be rotting away.
I think we can't scrub down the seawater.
How long has it been, Captain, since you swabbed the deck?
It's a lot to into. First, I must search the galley. Look what I've got. The galley seems full enough, though this mossy stuff seems to have grown all over the tins.
What is it?
Not pretty, I know. No worse than the algae or the barnacles we scrape off hull. I imagine all this fog around here causes it to thrive, but it certainly can't have got inside these tins. Here, you scrape it off with this, and I'll fetch some seawater and scrub up around here. Shining. Wait and see. Rail the spanker from block to leech. Strange. From the taste of their water, I'd say the ship hasn't been here more than 3 months. And she has the look of having been beached for years. Well, at least we're rid of that stale, musty smell.
And we have food and water, and a place of shelter and land close by. And much more.
If I'd not proposed to you and brought you to sea, you'd be at home in Cumberland this very minute, like the lady you are. Seated at table on a warm summer evening.
It was very dull. Believe me, my darling, very dull indeed.
All the same. You'd be there, not here. I'd give my life, Eleanor, if it were so.
And I mine. Were I not here with you?
I wonder if that fog's lifted yet. Still heavy. Where it hangs about, you'd think it had nowhere else to go. Sets me in mind of something. Just north of the equator, there's a stretch of the Pacific I've heard tell about. Between longitude 80 and 150, where the doldrums prevail most of the year. Nothing moves on the surface. And no ship couldn't beat a course through it.
We couldn't be anywhere near there, could we?
No, it's far to the north.
But you believe there could be a place like that? Where there's always fog?
Let's go to bed. Forget all about it.
Good morning. Is the fog lifted?
Not yet. I got to thinking during the night. We don't really know what took the crew. It might have been some kind of contagious disease, an epidemic even. And there we sat last night eating off that table without a care.
Oh, but Shirley, darling, even if that were so, the germs shouldn't still be lurking in this cabin, should they?
I consider it prudent we assume they might be and take precautions.
Precautions? What kind of precautions?
A medicine chest. It should be here in this cabin, but it's not. Any more than the ship's log is. It must be somewhere. In all British ships, masters are required to carry a medicine chest.
What do you want for the medicine chest?
I want carbolic acid. Then I can go over the cabin, make sure nothing's lingering.
I'll tell you what's still lingering. This dampness. I don't wonder that nothing ever dries out in this climate. And in case we're stranded on our island for a while, I thought of a native industry to keep us busy.
Oh?
We're going to grow mushrooms.
Oh.
Well, why not? They're much in demand, and we should grow richer than my father.
Why not, indeed? I'll give up sailing and take to the land.
How do you like it?
It's elegant. Quite the most elegant gown I've ever seen.
And good for exploring derelict holes.
Hold on, where are you going?
With you to find the medicine chest.
I think you'd better stay in here.
Darling, whatever is the matter with you this morning? Why, we have everything to be grateful for. Our very lives have been given back to us, yet you're acting so oddly. Now, come along, lead the way.
Davits. And how did the crew abandon ship?
Probably jumped overboard and swam ashore. Well, why not? I can hear the surf right below us. You could probably walk ashore.
No. Sailors have only one use of salt water. That's to sail on it. To drink it or swim in it, it's not likely.
Well, however or wherever they did it, we'll probably find them on our island doing quite comfortably.
I came this way yesterday when I found the food and got the salt water pump working. This door leads to the galley. I went in there yesterday. There's no medicine chest. Now, this one must go down to the crew's quarters. I'm going down there now. I want you to stay here.
But why? Why can't I go with you? What are you hiding from me? I watched the way you moved me across the deck, in and out and around like some rook in a chess match.
Those are men's quarters down there, that's all.
With no men in them.
And it'll be close.
Captain Thomason, I have the feeling that you have never quite got used to the notion that we're married, for better or for worse. Oh, Jim, when I took my marriage vows, I meant them with every bit of meaning in my heart. For 22 years, I led a sheltered life. I used to live in the lee of the wind. You yourself told me that, remember? May I tell you a secret? I used to dream of ships and far places and gallant captains with fierce beards who would one day spirit me away. And now that I've found one, without the beard, thank heaven, I intend to come out of the lee.
Eleanor, this is no little girl's game we're playing.
Oh, Jim. Do you think that I suppose that it really is?
Stay close behind. I don't know. That's it, alcoholic. There, that's clean. Now we'll see. What are you thinking about?
I was just remembering something that you once said. You said that the only truly honest thing in all this world was an old sailing ship, remember?
Mm.
You said that if a ship was dishonest or had a hidden weakness, she would perish. She would perish because from the moment she was launched, she would be exposed to all the stress and strain that man and nature could throw against her. That only the honest ships, good ships, survive. The others disappear.
That's true.
Then, isn't it also true of people? Isn't it true of us now?
I hadn't thought about it.
Well, do, darling. Do think about it now.
I don't know. People can make choices. Ships can't. Ships are the victims of circumstance.
Aren't we?
What's your driving at?
Well, I just keep wondering if each one of us is everything he thinks. Or do I have hidden weaknesses unknown to me? deep faults I don't suspect. And do you?
If we do, it's only human nature.
I keep feeling that God has put us in this place for some good reason. To test our love, or to test us. Do you believe that?
I don't know.
Well, think, Jim. Think about it. Think hard. You must believe that.
I wish I could. I'll try. Are you going to sleep now?
Yes, I think so.
Good night, my darling.
Good night, my dear.
Jim, I'm sorry. I can't go back. No.
It's all right. Listen, I'll lower the boat. Come.
We ran from the cabin. I only returned to gather our few belongings and what tins of food we could carry. I lowered the boat, and in this we made our way to shore. Yet, as we drew near, we became aware that there, too, the fungus which had driven us from the ship was growing riot. In places it rose into horrible, fantastic mounds, which seemed almost to quiver as with a quiet life. Here and there it took on the forms of vast fingers, and in others it simply spread, flat and smooth and treacherous. I knew how Eleanor must have despaired to discover those grotesque, stunted trees. At first, it seemed to us that there was no single portion of the surrounding shore which was not hidden beneath the masses of the hideous lichen. But then, Eleanor discovered just beyond a smooth white patch of what appeared to be fine sand. It was there we landed. It was not sand. What it was, I do not know. All that I know is that upon it the fungus would not grow. Everywhere else there was nothing but that loathsome grayness. Here on this beach, we deposited our few belongings. It is difficult to make you understand how cheered we were to find one place that was absolutely free from the growth. I returned to the ship for such things as we were likely to need, while we sought the missing crew and while we waited out the chance passing of a rescue ship. I brought ashore the crojack sail from the derelict. From this I fashioned a large, though rough-shaped tent in which we lived and stored our various necessities, and I managed to tow ashore the piece of mizzenmast which had carried us from my ship into the lagoon. We set to work chopping it into firewood to be ready for lighting at the first sign of a sail.
Jim? I thought you were going to throw that away.
Somehow I couldn't.
Darling, Darling, don't you understand that every time you cut into that board, you cut into yourself, marking yourself just as surely as you're marking the board?
All captains keep a log. Likewise, we must mark the time.
Why? Count the days we're missing from where and from what?
Home, of course.
Oh, darling. You will never understand how much I love you, will you?
I understand this, Eleanor. I understand that I want you out of here. Back where you belong. Back pruning roses in a garden where everything that grows is beautiful, not hideous. I want to see you again in silks and brocades. Imagine your eyes light up when I come home from the sea.
Can't you see that now?
Like harbor lights, they say.
Oh, darling, it's not that I'm being so brave. It's just that I'm altogether happy with you. Here or anywhere.
I'm happy, too. If I can keep you happy. They're not biting. You know why they're not, Eleanor?
No bait?
No fish. There's no sign of life out there. Nothing. Nothing alive on the island, except us. No bird, no animal, no insect.
Something seems to have driven them away. Or poisoned them?
No, not poison, I think. We'd have found some carcasses in that event. No. It's the worst part of it, Eleanor. Not only is there nothing living here, there's nothing dead either.
Could that once have been a tree? It looks so horrible.
Sometimes the hurricanes snap them off and uproot them. I'd say this whole island was once leveled by a great storm.
And then the fog came and stayed. And then the fungus. Do you think we might have a chance in the open sea?
I've thought about it 100 times. Canvas we have aplenty and spars for a mast. But in which direction would we cast off? Without compass, without stars to guide us, how could we pick a course or set a destination?
There might be a chance.
Once when I was 15, serving my time before the mast, I was wrecked off Portugal. 9 days without food or water. Only 3 of us survived. It was not pretty for the ones who did not survive. Not pretty at all. I'll not permit you an ugly death, Eleanor.
Then it is to be death.
Not if the fog lifts. Not if we're anywhere near the course of a passing ship. And not if they see our fire. Eleanor, what is it?
Jim, Turn your head this way.
It was the fungus. It is now a month since, but I remember what I felt at that moment. My fear was for Eleanor. Between us, we washed the spot on my cheek with the carbolic and water. Then it was night. We sat by the fire, wordless, until I looked up and saw the fog had lifted. The clouds drifted by, and there stood the moon, high in a star-bright sky. It was a sailor's omen, no doubt of it. Tomorrow would be clear. Now at last I might tell Eleanor what was in my mind.
Eleanor, if it holds clear, I can dead reckon a course. At least set a direction for you.
For me?
There's food and water for you for at least 2 weeks, maybe 3.
Me, you keep saying me. What about us?
It's too late.
But darling, we washed it away. We caught it in time. Oh, you'll see when we get back. The doctors will be able to...
No. This morning, when you were down the beach, I used the carbolic again. It came back. It was bigger. Eleanor, I said I wouldn't let you die in an open boat at sea without food and water. Oh, I know. It's better. Far better than this. No, don't.
Do you think that I'd not touch you?
Don't, Eleanor. Please, stay away from me.
Do you think I would ever let anything come between us? I shall never leave you. Never, never.
Oh, God, what has this girl ever done that you should punish her so?
Just a chance. They may see our signal fire.
You mad?
No. Do you think we should go back among healthy human beings? What if we infect others and it spread and spread and never stopped?
I don't intend to leave. It's you they'll take back. Why?
Hello, are you still there? We're starting to make way.
Yes,
Isn't there anything we can do?
you have already done enough. May God bless you for your goodness. Goodbye.
What was it?
It looked like a sponge. Great gray sponge.